It's a community event for a community that's been working tirelessly to bring Hannah home. On Saturday, here near Walnut Creek Park, searchers were about to turn around when they felt what they called a divine intervention to stop and look just a little bit further. That's when they found what police believe to be Hannah Graham. It only takes a spark and a matter of seconds to make sure that your Christmas tree does not go up in flames like this one. The team has some special tips. Cat is one of about 40 horses participating in the Blessing of the Hounds. It's a tradition that goes back to England, but it's the 86th year that this church has participated. Fitness experts say that the posture you practice at the gym should not end at the gym. They recommend sitting on balance balls or standing at work, and taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
Sitting is the new smoking.
Capman can't really talk, but if he could, he'd say he hopes it isn't the last time that ESPN College Game Day comes to Charlottesville.
Luckily, no one was injured during this structure fire. The two women inside heard a loud boom noise coming from the basement. They immediately called 911 and fire and rescue are on scene now. I spoke with some other graffiti artists from out of town who do illegal graffiti, and they told me that if this bridge comes down, it'll encourage other people to break the law because they won't have space to do it legally. Some of the worst roads we've seen so far look like they have a thick layer of snow that's been packed down onto the ground here, but they still have gotten some attention. You can see that plows have been here at least once. The Interfraternity Council says it's using its current suspension to come up with ideas for positive, lasting change.
We share a common goal, the elimination of rape in our society.
Annie Forrest was a victim of rape off grounds shortly after arriving at the University of Virginia.
How many people being hurt and being assaulted and raped does it really take for someone to need to be removed from our community of trust?
The Rolling Stone article says 183 students have been expelled for lying, cheating, and stealing at the university, but no rapists have ever been kicked out.
It is my hope that one day the system will allow for justice to be served on perpetrators and for them to have punishments that really fit their crime.
The current sexual misconduct policy is under review.
I hope for justice for Jackie and for myself. It's really hard to get justice.
Alex Pinkleton, one of Jackie's best friends who was quoted in the article, says she was upset with how the article depicts Dean Nicole Aramo, the woman who counseled Jackie after her gang rape.
Her portrayal of Dean Aramo is a lot different than how the student body feels about Dean Aramo. For the student body, Dean Aramo is the go-to person who will do everything within her power to support the survivor.
She thinks some of her own quotes were also misinterpreted.
I would clarify that I didn't mean anyone's intentionally covering up rapes here.
Pinkleton hopes Jackie's bravery will comfort and inspire more victims to come forward.
I see this article as a tremendous opportunity as far as healing goes for my friend to finally feel as though her voice has been heard.
Ready to ride.
Can't wait to see what my countryside looks like from the air.
This is so exciting. Yeah.
Even at dawn, Carol Gooch was awake enough to be enthusiastic about her big birthday flight.
There aren't any adjectives to describe what it's like up here. This is just unbelievable.
Her good friend, who also happens to be her pastor, came along for the ride.
Carol has had her eye on the sky since she was a young girl working at the University Observatory. And so to get to lift off the earth and just float above beautiful Charlottesville with the trees in such great color and the grass so beautiful and all the houses and the fog in the valleys, it was just lovely.
Here, 1,300 feet above the ground, we're flying high in a boar's head balloon to celebrate Carol Gooch's 91st birthday. She says it just keeps getting better.
And I'm a high flyer.
Her simple advice to others who want to be happy when they're approaching a century:
It's to treat other people the way you want to be treated.
She called her ride the icing to her long, sweet life.
It's unbelievable.
And when she said this is one of the most beautiful things she'd ever done in her life, I mean, to hear that from a 91-year-old, pretty wonderful.
Everybody ought to be able to go up in a hot air balloon ride once in their lives. They don't have to wait until they're old.
Blenheim Vineyards is hilling, mounding earth and snow
to help insulate these young vines and keep them from reaching terminally cold temperatures.
Ben Farnsworth says it's smart to use the elements to your advantage.
This kind of highly practical but low-tech measure.
Blenheim is keeping an extra eye on its Viognier, Virginia's signature grape. Some grapes hold up better than others.
We're looking at things that bud early, so Chardonnay would be a lot more susceptible than Cab Franc or Cab Sauv because they just bud a little bit later.
The vine's age is also important. These Sauvignon Blanc vines here are less than a year old. Sauvignon typically means savage in French, but because of the age, they require extra care. Each year, each grape, and each vineyard faces its own challenges.
It gets cold, but it never gets old.
Stephen Barnard says Keswick Vineyards is using wind as its weapon.
So that's the wind machine.
At 5 a.m., he fires up the helicopter-like blade. Its 360-degree rotation mixes up the warm air close to the ground. The worst-case scenario would be trunk damage.
God willing and fingers crossed that there won't be too much, or if any.